Hey guys, it's Pop and Jacques Slade here, and this is the Nike Kobe AD NXT FF. It's a long name, but really it's probably going to be one of the most polarizing and impressive shoes, or well, basketball shoes that we've seen in 2019, and this is my hands-on and first impression. First thing you need to take note of is the aesthetic of the shoe. The shoe obviously looks different from last year's model, which was the 360, which was a low. This one is a mid, but the more obvious thing about this shoe is that it looks super futuristic. Like this shoe could be from the year 2050 or 2075 or something like that. Just the lines and the way that it's shaped definitely gives this shoe more of a futuristic vibe than anything that we've really seen come from Nike basketball, the Hyperdap included. Along with those futuristic looks, the shoe comes with a very futuristic price, I would say. These are priced at $200 for retail. Now, the usual Kobe line costs right around the 160, 175 range. The prices have been creeping up in the past couple of years, but putting it at $200 definitely makes a statement when it comes to the Kobe line. The fact that we don't see Kobe on court anymore, but this shoe is still priced at a higher price point than the Jordan shoes, which have some similar tech, and those are priced at 175, I believe. And then above LeBron, which is priced at 180, and KD and Kyrie and all of those guys. I get it that there is more tech in this shoe, and we'll get into that a little later, but that $200 price point is definitely something that you should be concerned about. Next thing we need to consider are the materials that they use on the shoe, and Nike is using some sort of what I'm going to call spandex or stretchy material. It definitely has some stretch to it right here at the front of the shoe, and that covers here the toe box, and it actually extends around the lateral side of the shoe and comes a little bit around the heel as well, and it definitely provides some stretch. And then there's also some fuse material along the toe, which is obviously there for durability, but then the fuse also returns here around where the laces technically would be, but there are no laces here, but you do see some extra fuse material there as well. When you get to the Nike swoosh, you see that it is plastic, and I imagine that serves for two reasons. One, so you can see the tech that's beneath the shoe, and then for this colorway, I imagine it helps to add to the almost off-white or unfinished aesthetic that this shoe has. It adds to that whole futuristic vibe because you can see through it, and then they add the plastic there to make it a little more obvious that this shoe is something different than what you've had before. Moving over to the medial side, you see that they have a mesh material here, and this mesh material is what they use underneath the spandex material that you see on the shoe. It is the quad fit material, and if you actually have the new Nike Hyperadapt BB, you know that they use quad fit on that shoe as well because it has a four-way stretch that allows the shoe to move with you. So there looks like they're combining a little bit of tech, while the Fastfit is really the superhero tech of this shoe. It also has quad fit, which even though it is just a material, it is something that has been getting a lot of buzz lately, especially because it's on the Nike Hyperadapt BB. Moving to the outsole, you can definitely see it has a very unique pattern here. It's not your traditional herringbone system. There's almost like these little knobs or little nubs that stick up, maybe I would say 1 or 2 centimeters off of the outsole of the shoe. And the actual outsole is concave, where it actually caves in a little bit here. So you have most of the traction happening right here around the edges, and the same on the heel where there's an indentation for the heel, but then you have the rubber for the outsole right here on the outside. Now Nike does specify that this shoe is made for indoor basketball. So if you do plan on playing in these outside, just know that these little nubs are going to go and wear down pretty quickly. You can definitely tell that these aren't going to hold up very well when it comes to the concrete. They're a little too soft. The other tech that we see Nike using on this model is React. Now, Nike calls it a drop-in React midsole, although I haven't actually been able to remove the midsole, so I'm not sure it's exactly a drop-in unless they've just used a ton of glue. What I think is that the Fastfit system is embedded at the bottom of that React system, so you're not able to actually pull it out, even though they do call call it a drop-in midsole. If you ever wore like the old Kobe's where you could put in like the different lunar inserts, this is very similar to that in the way that it's constructed, obviously with the exception that this is React. To my personal feel, it feels a little bit like the Epic React. It isn't as soft as the Epic React, but it has that same sort of feel. Now, Nike is saying that there are 2 different foams inside of this shoe, and you can see it right here on the outsole. You see that there is a section of foam here, and then there is a section of foam here at the back. So the toe, and then I would say from right about the ball of your foot all the way to your heel. From what I understand, this back portion is the React, so that's the softer, more responsive, and this section here I believe is going to be a bit more firm based on me putting it on my foot and wearing it around the house for a little bit. Truth be told, this could obviously be React as well, just a different formulation of React, kind of like what they do with the Epic React versus what they did in the Hyperdunk a few years ago. The crown jewel of the Nike Kobe AD NXT FF is this system, the Fastfit system. We saw this on the Jordan 33, and basically what it allows you to do is to lock down your foot inside the shoe without actually having to lace your shoe. If you've worn the Nike Hyper Adapt BB, you know it's that same sort of concept where they want to give you something that keeps you locked into your shoe and that it doesn't adjust as you play the game of basketball. And with these, just from my limited experience in this model, but my prior experience of actually playing in the Air Jordan 33, that's really what this system does. It locks in, and it actually clicks your foot in, and then it does not move until you actually release it. If you're playing in the game and you want to release some tension on your foot really quick, you can just pull the eject paracord almost here, and that will loosen up the system and allow it to release the nylon cables that are on the inside. And the cables actually extend all the way up to, I would say right here to right above the bridge of your foot, and they crisscross across the eyelets all the way down to here, which will be right about the edge of your toes in the shoe. And in addition to that, they actually extend down here to the side of the shoe as well. So it's just not tightening here at the top of the shoe right on the bridge of the foot. It's actually pulling from this side and from this side as well. So it compresses your foot down into the footbed. So this whole upper kind of collapses down into your foot, and it pulls your foot into the React to keep you locked in. In addition, another way that they're keeping you locked in is through an ankle strap that is Velcro here. I don't usually get a lot of satisfaction out of the ankle straps unless you just like something really tight around your ankle. Otherwise, I think it just adds to the look of the shoe, but I personally don't feel like it helps me keep my feet locked in or keep my ankle locked in. Now, having used the Fastfit system and having broken a Fastfit system, something that I do worry about is the pull tab to help lock you in. It is elastic, and I pulled mine too hard and it actually broke off of my Jordan 33. So what I do recommend is that you don't have to necessarily be careful. I haven't heard of anyone else's breaking, but I would say just be a little more careful when you're pulling these and locking it in. You don't have to pull it that hard. So I would just say, kind of keep that in mind and know that you don't have to yank it and pull it really hard in order for it to lock down. You can pull it pretty easily and it locks in. Now, when it comes to comfort, there's definitely a lot of padding. You obviously have the React midsole, which gives you the cushioning for underfoot, but when it comes to the cushioning around your ankle and on the tongue, they've done a really good job of that. Now, when I did put these on, I did feel a little bit of irritation from the tongue, and I had to adjust it a few times from when I had it on. So this section here of the tongue was giving me a little bit of irritation on my ankle, but again, that's more of a personal issue and something that I just wanted to put out there so you guys could take note of. So for my final thoughts, would I cop a pair of the Nike Kobe AD NXT FF? They really need to find a shorter name for this shoe. At the $200 price point, I do feel it's a little hard to justify when there are so many great basketball shoes for $160 or less. But there is something special about having that React midsole and then also having the Fastfit system, which keeps you locked in. The benefit of the Fastfit is like you don't have to worry about it coming loose. And I think there's a benefit to that, especially if you're able to dial it into exactly where you want it to be, then you don't have to worry about the entire game. And even if you want to adjust it during the game, that's a pretty simple process. You just pull the eject cord and then retighten it to exactly where you want it to be. It's very simple and a lot easier than tying your laces. Not that tying your laces or retightening your shoes is a big deal or it takes a lot of time, but it definitely takes more time than doing this and doing that. So I definitely say that the system has its benefits for that specific reason. And it's something that if that's a concern of yours, or if you want a shoe that's going to keep you locked in, then this is something you should definitely look at. And I would recommend going into a store and trying it on just because it's definitely a unique feeling. Anyway, so those are my thoughts of the Nike Kobe AD NXT FF, which stands for Fast Fit System. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about the shoe. Is it something that you plan on copying? Is it priced too high? Do you think it should cost more? I'm Jacques Slade as always. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.